Yeah, I mean, they've changed.
Yeah, they changed.
That you will see live. Kia ora and haere everyone for meeting today. So before we start the formal part of our meeting, I would like to acknowledge the recent passing of Joe Burns and Valerie Somerville. And I'll invite the room to observe a minute. Mark will monitor the minute for us, please. Thank you, everyone. I'd like to acknowledge Jo Byrne. It is with deep sadness that we acknowledge her passing. Jo dedicated so much of herself to serving her community and was passionate and determined advocate for the people she represented. She worked tirelessly to ensure community voices were heard and brought both compassion and conviction to the issue that matters most. Her advocacy reflected a deep commitment to creating positive outcome and strengthening the community she shared so deeply about. Jo's contribution went far beyond meeting and decisions. She built connection, listened with genuine care, and championed initiatives that made a meaningful difference in people's lives. Her leadership, integrity, and unwavering commitment to public service has left a lasting impact. May she rest in peace, and may her example continue to inspire us in our work for the community. I'd also acknowledge Valerie Somerville. Sadness that she has passed, a dedicated community member, retired school teacher, secretary of the St. Albans Swimming Club. Valerie's commitment to preserving local history through her published work, History of St. Albans Swimming Club and Edgware Pool from 1892 to 2006, leaves a lasting legacy for generations to come. Her tireless service to the swimming club until 2003 reflected her passion for community, connection, and service. Valerie will be remembered not only for her remarkable contribution, but also for her warm, caring, loving personality that touches so many lives. I had a privilege to be working with Valerie on Edgware Pool Board, and it deeply saddens me that we have lost a gem from our community, but she will be greatly missed. I invite any board members if you'd like to say words.
Thanks, Sunita. I was just really quickly, because I've had the privilege of being on the community board with Jo and also being on the Edgware Pool as well with Val, and they're both huge community leaders that we've lost. It's actually really sad. You know, part of the reason why we're just about to complete the building of Edgware Pool is because of Val never giving up, and part of the reason why so much money was invested in the St. Albans area was because of Jo. They've given so much to the St. Albans community, and they will be dearly missed.
Thanks, Mike. As we have spoken earlier, that board has sent a card to both the families and paid our condolences. Thank you. Moving forward, apologies. We have got apologies from Jake and apologies for lateness for Victoria. She'll join us from Zoom. Pauline has moved and John has seconded. All in favor? Aye. Against? Thank you. Is there any declaration of interest? No? Thank you. Confirmation of previous minutes. I call for mover and seconder. Simon and Emma. All in favor?
Aye.
Against, carried. We, in our public forum section, would like to invite Harper Knowles. Harper will be reporting back to us about attending National Latin Dance Championship in Auckland. Welcome, Harper.
Hi, thank you guys for having me.
Hi.
So thanks to the funding, I got privileged to go to the Latin Dance Championships. And yeah, it was an amazing experience. And
Wow.
I learned like how to deal with pressure because obviously it was a big competition and yeah, being against other people my age. And yeah, lots of practice went into it and lots of time and effort.
Cool.
So on the top left, I did a salsa duet with my friend. We came first in that category, which was really cool. And then the two other ones are the bachata category, and that one we came second. Yes.
Well done.
That's the winner. That's the winner. Money well spent.
And do you continue practicing this every week or?
Yeah,
competition?
so this year I'm doing a solo, which is pretty exciting, and I'm going to do the same competition this year as well. But yeah, we practice maybe 2 hours a week. So yeah, a lot of practice goes into that.
Cool. Well done.
Have you got a video?
Oh no.
You can teach us some moves sometime.
Yeah.
Emma, you had a question?
Oh, I was just going to ask, how did you get into the Latin dancing?
So I started when I was 5 at Latin Fire, and they do like hip hop and jazz, and then my dance teacher, she kind of like slowly introduced it to like a group of young children at probably the age of like 7, and then just like progressively gets more competitions and more things over time as you get older.
And as a group, how many are you that practice together, dance together?
So we have a team of this year that's about 11, and then you can split off and do like different like salsa or whatever you kind of want to do, like a solo or duet.
All right, thank you. Well done.
Thank you.
All the best.
Congratulations.
14.
Look out, you look
I know you look good this day. Have fun.
Thank you.
Thank you.
When I see you on the dance floor, I'll move to the other side.
Next, we have Shruti Adhikari, who spoke on behalf of Bangaliana Multicultural Christchurch regarding the Saraswati Puja and earlier this year. Welcome, Shruti.
Thank you, and good evening, Chair, Community Board members, councillors, and distinguished guests. My name is Sushruti Adhikari, and I'm speaking today on behalf of the Bangaliana Multicultural Christchurch. I would like to take this opportunity to thank the City Council and the Community Board for your support for our Saraswati Puja Festival 2026, which was held at the Philliptown Community Hub on 24th of January. Your support enabled us to bring together people from diverse backgrounds to celebrate culture, learning, community, and inclusion. So the Saraswati Festival is basically the goddess of wisdom, learning, music, and arts. This year, we also wanted to extend our impact beyond the festival itself. Education is central to the values represented by Saraswati, and we felt that it was important to support families in a particular way. Alongside the festival, we organized a back-to-school program that helped families purchase essential stationeries and school supplies for their children. We understand that the beginning of the school year can be financially pressure on many households. Through this initiative, we were able to assist few families and ensure that the children could start school year with tools and stationeries. As a multicultural organization, our goal is not only just to celebrate the culture, but also contribute positively to the wider Christchurch community. This creates opportunities for people to learn about one another and appreciate the diversity that makes Christchurch such a vibrant city. We are incredibly grateful to the City Council that recognizes the value of these initiatives. And your support allows the community organization like ours to create inclusive spaces where people feel welcomed, respected, and connected. It demonstrates a commitment to diversity, social cohesion, and community participations. So on behalf of Bangaliana Multicultural Christchurch, our volunteers, performers, supporters, and everyone who attended the festival, I would like to express our heartfelt thanks. Your support helped transform an idea to a successful community celebration that brought people from different communities together through culture, learning, and friendship. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
You did it.
Yeah, good work. Do you have questions? Yeah. Emma?
So, you celebrated with food and
Yes.
dance.
Yes,
and-
so there were multicultural performances by different communities, not just India and Sri Lanka and South Africa, and everyone came together under one roof and performed. And then we had a community lunch and evening snack for everybody, whoever attended. It's a free event, anyone can attend. So we provided for everyone and also showcased our, what is this about? Why this education, the learning, the art part of this festival is so important. And hence we thought that it would be great to give out something before the school year begins to the community.
Very good. Thank you. Excellent.
I'll catch it next year.
Yes, yeah. And I would just invite everyone. I would send an email and I would invite every one of you to our festival. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you for the yes. Moving on, deputation, we do not have any or presentation. Next, we are on staff report. So Toby for trees. Hello, Toby. Please.
Breeze coming, eh?
Yes.
Thank you for having me. I'm just going to take the report as read, but we're coming to you with a number of parks, which is 6. Parks which we've put out planting plans for, and we've received feedback. We're proposing a few changes based on the feedback that we got. There's one where we were removing a medium tree, but we got a lot of feedback saying they didn't want that. Then we've got Craighead, I think it is, where we're also proposing 2 small trees to be removed. It was just around visibility into the park. So where we're planting, we'll be planting some trees along that border, but we'll also be we'll be looking at fruit trees along there. We've had a deputation from a group about planting fruit trees. So this was the first step towards that, getting approved for trees. But when we were there, we noticed that there were a couple of trees that probably weren't most suited. So we're proposing to remove those as part of that. And then there was one more change as well. No, that was in the path through. But largely the feedback for all the plans was positive. This is part of the implementation of our urban forest program to increase canopy cover across the district. We will be planting between 40 and 60% natives to increase the visibility of native trees. We do also take into consideration feedback that we get. So sometimes we get a higher demand for native trees, and we take that into consideration when picking species. But we really pick species that are well suited to the site as well. And things that are in keeping with the existing trees as well. Maintenance. So the trees that are planted, they're planted by our own internal tree planting team. When they plant the trees, they water them for the first 3 years and maintain them for the first 7 years before they go into the normal program. So as far as I know, that's the longest establishment that anybody has. It's normally only 1 or 2 years. Our watering program, we're trying to adjust it given how many trees we're planting. So we're watering once a week for the first year, once a fortnight for the second year, and once for the third year. and we give the trees a full prune throughout that time, and then we'll give it another prune at year 5, and then at year 7 we'll give it a final prune and hand over.
A quick question.
Mike, Ashley and Colleen then.
Thanks, Toby, and good report, which I support. Questions around, was in 4.4 where put about Vaughan Reserve. And I guess my question is more around process. Because obviously these plans are, the decision maker is the board. And obviously for that reserve, staff made a decision just to end the consultation. I'm just wondering what the process is around that by not actually coming to the board for that decision formally.
Yeah, so what we've generally done is when we've had really negative feedback, we've reviewed that, seen if we can fit trees in, and we haven't been taking those to the board. So I'm more than happy to bring that to the board with the feedback, with the option of declining it. But in the past, what we've had is the focus has been all on those few negative ones, and we've been struggling to push it through.
Yeah, I guess for me, it's the process for where the decision actually lies. And like we've seen examples where a community has not supported a decision, but for various reasons, a council, community boards gone here, for example, cathedral reinstatement. And that's purely because the decision lies at a certain level. And obviously, by you making the decision, you're removing the, I guess, our right to obviously say yes or no to it. And I'm just curious about, I guess, where that sits, because I don't probably don't disagree with your decision. It's just actually who should be the ultimate decision maker.
That's a valid point. That's in the report.
And also, I guess, like, what was the feedback about why people were objecting? And the numbers, like, it's just one line, but it lacks any clarity. So there's a question of, like, if there is a delegated decision to the staff to actually say, actually, we're not going to advance that, it needs a little bit more information to kind of say what was the theme of the feedback, so how much was, but I still have a slight concern that it's been made by staff instead of the community board.
That's a valid point. We will bring that through to you during the next report that comes through with the feedback and bring the decision to you.
Yeah, and I guess, sorry, Chair. I guess it's consistency across council, like when I'd hope that all community boards and council would have a consistent approach to decisions or consultations that we put out about where the decision making actually lies at the end of the process. Yeah.
Thank you.
My question is in regards to the creative reserve with the tree planting. As you can see, the figures at diagram 2 here, you've got one large tree and more of the 2 medium trees. How close is that to the BMX track? Because the roots, once it starts settling and growing, the roots will create damage to that BMX tree and a BMX track, and that is quite highly used.
So
is there any way we can space it a little bit more so less damaging to something that's used?
We won't plant within 3 metres of the boundary of it, which is generally enough. So tree roots have what's called a zone of rapid taper.
Yeah.
Unless you've got, without getting too technical, unless you've got like a hard surface or something that changes the profile, or a tree is in a very restricted space, generally you won't get large roots further out than around that 2.5 metres of the tree, particularly in a park environment. Where that compacted area is, they will move into a more favourable environment. Where we get that damage is generally where a tree is constricted.
Yeah, so you'll find that large tree that's quite within that 3 metres won't grow to be any longer.
When it gets on the ground, these are like rough points, but we have a thing to say with the planting team that they won't plant within 3 metres of it.
Yeah. Cool, thank you. Again.
Oh yeah, just so you're obviously going around all the community boards and selecting sites for potential trees for the urban forest. So I was just wanting, it's not really in scope, but there is a section on Springfield Road next to Rehu and Mara. Pretty sure we own that.
Yeah.
There's absolutely nothing in there. and it's surrounded by the trees.
Yeah.
I wondered if you wanted to have a look at that.
I'm more than happy to look into it. There are,
Kind of thinking fruit trees in there would be great if we talked to Rehua to see if they would be interested in using fruit.
what we often find, we'll certainly look into it, but a lot of the spaces that are open, we go, oh, that'd be an ideal place for a tree. We usually find underground services that stop us from planting there.
Yeah.
So we'll have a look.
Okay.
Yeah, occasionally we find spots.
Springfield
That is not
Reserve.
the case, but
I think it did belong to Rehua and then they handed it to us. Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Do you have a question?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, thank you. Excuse me, thank you, Toby, first of all, for the consultation and responding to the various submissions and feedbacks to it, which I think is really good. It's nice to see some fruit trees going in a couple of the places, which we've had a lot of, have often spoken of fruit trees. I notice in both of those cases, there are residents or members of the community who have the capabilities to harvest and look after the fruits, which is great also. How much weighting does that, how much weight gets applied to the decision when there are or are not folks nearby who be reliable?
It makes a very big difference if you've got a group that's actively coming forward and saying they want to participate in the management of them. Yeah.
Right, yeah, I get that might be the case.
That's the strong push for it.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of hesitance to put fruit trees in where we don't have those groups. Fruit trees require a different type of maintenance than we would generally do on trees. When they're not maintained, so many fruit trees, some of your heritage ones are hardier, but many fruit trees have been bred to focus on fruit production, which means that they're more prone to a lot of pests and diseases. Generally, someone who has one in their property, they'll spot something, they'll get on top of it. If you don't have that really strong maintenance and those people caregiving for that tree, looking after that tree, then we do sometimes risk ending up posting the tree that's got the pests and diseases, which can actually cause issues to the trees around. There's also fruit dropping and things like that if it's not picked up. We've got those issues as well. So having someone from the community or a group that's going to take ownership makes a huge difference.
Right, well, that's good. Thanks for that. And it's really not useful for us to know that when we field inquiries from the public. Very good.
Cool. Thank you. Thanks, Joe.
So does it also apply to nut trees? Or are they more resilient?
So nut trees, yes, so they are quite resilient as far as pests and diseases, but they do attract rodents if they're not collected.
With the St Albans in nuts, right?
Again, if they're collected and there's a community that come in and get them, so McFarlane, there's a proposal for some walnut trees in there because there's been some groups in there that would really like them. So we're more open to it in those sorts of environments where we know they're going to get collected. But if we've got concerns that they're not going to get collected, it's not our first go-to.
There's a beautiful big walnut tree at
Yeah.
English Park.
Oh, good to know.
Thanks, Toby.
Brain food.
Do
Yeah.
John as a mover?
Mhm.
We'll have seconder, please. Oh, Mike. And all in favor? Aye. Against? Carried.
That's great.
Thank you, Toby.
Thanks, 6 trees.
Yes.
I'll
Wonderful.
be back soon, I think, with McFarlane as well.
All right.
That'll
See
be
you
good,
then.
hey? You're great.
Mm,
you.
mm,
Thank
will
you.
do.
See ya.
Thank you. All right, next we have Sally Ann over the Zoom regarding Bailey Ave intersection, proposing no stopping restriction. Sally Ann, over to you.
Hi there, everyone. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Oh, brilliant. Okay, I'll take the report as read. So yeah, I'm happy to take any questions you might have.
Yep, Pauline?
I mean, how are we getting on without these? I mean, like you say, it's come from a resident who mentioned it, but it's a lot of extra OPEX for the roading team to go around and top up those yellow lines every, I don't know how often they do them, but yeah, so are they all really necessary?
I think if it wasn't on Beeley Avenue, I'd have pushed back. I mean, I investigated the rest of the intersections that were similar to, avoid having to keep coming back to you with separate reports, just to kind of do it all in a more holistic way. But yeah, I mean, people are parking within those tapers, and I mean, they shouldn't be really. It's not. They're there to provide space for traffic turning in, and it does block visibility for you know, for vehicles trying to turn out onto Beeley. So that's why we've moved forward with this one.
Great, and then you just went and identified a whole bunch more while you're there and pop them in as well.
Yeah, it was just to assess the same situation, rather than sort of doing it, you know, honing in and just doing it
Very good.
bit by bit. We've been trying to do that a little bit more, actually, sort of just throw the net slightly wider to see if the same issues can be included in one report. Because I mean, we do put they take quite a lot of effort. You know, there's a lot of time and effort. So
it's called finding efficiencies, and that's exactly what we want. So thank you for your clear answer. Cheers.
Oh,
cool.
I have Victoria next.
Oh, thank you. My question is sort of in the same theme, really, to try and understand whether there is consistency in approach, and if this is consistent with what we're doing across the city, or whether it's reserved just for those main thoroughfare routes. Can you just help me understand that? Because it does, I'm just following on from Pauline's question, really.
Yeah, I'd only move forward with it if it was a busy road. So I mean, there's so much traffic moving down Beeley, just there's so many commuters using it for parking as well. We are I mean, any space that does appear where they can legally park, people will park in it. And I just think with it being especially Beeley, with it being a major arterial, I think keeping visibility lines clear and allowing the space for turning is important. But yeah, on smaller, less busy roads, I'd be less inclined, unless we could see there was an actual, we have the data to support there was an issue.
I understand that. The issue more for me is this a new approach across the city, or is it simply consistent with what we're already doing across the city on the major roads? That's what I was trying to understand.
Yeah, we haven't undertaken to look at all of the major roads for this issue. I mean, I've done this because it was highlighted by a member of the public who commutes through there quite a bit, and he felt that cars being parked there were unsafe. So that's why I've done it for Beeley. I'm not aware that it's something that, we haven't chucked the net wider to look at other arterial roads at this point in time. No.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. John, did you have a question?
Yeah, I think two if I may.
Yeah.
Okay, hi Sally Ann.
Hey, John.
I know these intersections, and indeed I can see the need for this, so I thank you for looking at it. I want to just zoom in on item 5.8 on the agenda. It's just on the report, 5.8. It's just to clarify that it refers to one response that you got from the proposals by letter to residents.
Yeah.
And states that that respondent asked when the lines will be installed, as they consider it to be a safety hazard. I think what that means is that the intersection is a safety hazard, or do they mean that the lines are a safety hazard?
Oh no, they mean the intersection as it stands without the lines is yeah.
No problem. I just wanted to be certain.
That's all right.
Misreading and ambiguity there. And secondly, the Beeley Ave Caledonian corner has some P30 spaces on it at the moment, outside of what hadn't been there for a while, but it used to be a fairly popular
Thai container.
Thai container. Yeah. And that's subject to a lot of people parking and coming and going. And from experience, I've noticed that they get parkers wherever they can. So correct me if I'm wrong, we're losing 0 parks on the east side of Caledonian Road, but
we're not
losing some on the west.
Yeah, we're not touching the existing P30. It's just been we've revoked it just to include the whole intersection. So for future reference, they'll be easier to find. But we haven't touched the parking that's there at the moment for the Thai container.
Yeah. I just wanted to clarify that, because we're always fairly careful when we're removing parking from in front of small businesses.
Yeah, no, it's just where we're proposing the no stopping restriction of the parking.
Yep, no worries. And they would have been subject to the notification letter too, I guess. Yeah.
Well, because we haven't changed anything there, we've only changed, it's only been extended on B. We haven't actually changed anything on Caledonian Road.
That's already there.
Yeah,
it's
they'll see it as
existing.
affecting them, but yeah, I know, yeah, no worries. Copy that. Thank you, Sally-Anne.
No worries.
Simon?
Thanks, Sally-Anne. When I was working on Beeley Ave, it was not unheard of for me to park within the tapers at Churchill Street on both sides of that intersection, and I was conscious that it has an impact on visibility and turning movements there. But did just want to, that's my confession for the day. Did just want to clarify though the legal status of those tapers. Am I right in thinking it's essentially it's a courtesy thing? It's effectively like a request for people not to park there as opposed to an enforceable prohibition in the current layout?
Yeah. So I mean, only the 6 meters at the intersection is currently legally covered. And again, I suppose it goes back to what Victoria said earlier. I mean, if it wasn't such a busy road, I guess it's down to our judgment as to whether it's actually causing a safety issue or not if people park there. So yeah, it is more of a courtesy thing at the moment.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you. I've got John as a mover, Mike seconder. All in favour?
Aye.
Against? Carried. Thank you, Sally-Anne.
No problem. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Okay. Now, hello, Stacey. Here to present area report, comprehensive area report that Martin puts together. With but Martin, happy to take questions. Or not? Not.
Just going through it again. Sorry, can I just the Pacifica community, have you got anything more to update on that? So it says here they're confirming their interest in the Westminster Park site for a hub.
Yes, they're working through Pacifica liaison, Sina. I will ask her for an update. For the next meeting.
Yeah, some sort of timeline as well. There's one councillor that doesn't think that's an appropriate site, but if the Pacifica community are happy with it. What's the next steps with that?
I think they need to raise some funding for the renovations that they want to do, which is quite extensive because the buildings.
Yeah. So this is not going to be happening overnight.
So I will definitely get an update for you.
Oh, thank you.
For next meeting.
Anybody else?
I was just going to ask, how is the vibe at Phillipstown?
Oh, I might hand over to my esteemed boss for that to answer that question.
Can you clarify if you're talking from my team's perspective or from the community perspective?
Well, I suppose
the
that should be all together.
I say that a little tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
We have seen an increase in bookings, some people returning, which is positive. We've engaged with some of the shared space users that are there around where we've got to at this moment in time with ministry negotiations. And yeah, we're looking to hold a monthly morning tea with our users to start building relationships, and we're just working on a proposal with the garden at the moment. So we're doing
awesome,
in my view, doing exceptionally well.
Yeah,
and the team are doing a really good job.
Yeah, well done.
Yeah,
congratulations. That sounds great.
Cool. Thank you. Anyone else have any questions?
Oh, doesn't that mural look fantastic?
Yeah,
Looked nice at the other day. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
It's looking really tidy around there.
Yeah.
Good work. You know, there's compared to a few years ago, there's just so much going on in this with the 3 wards that we've got. It's really lovely to read these reports.
It's the new mix, Colleen. It's a new mix. Central people.
Yes.
Couldn't resist, could you? No, it's great to see.
Yeah. And always thank you to staff for.
Because none of this happens without the community driving it. And that's what it means, that we're getting more activity in the communities, people socially engaging and doing really good stuff. It's great to see.
Thank you. Can call for mover and a seconder, please. Colleen and Emma. All in favor? Carried. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, elected member exchange. Victoria.
Thank you. Just that I'd feedback that there was there's not much noise on the Matson's Harewood Chapel works, which is great. I hope that's a reflection of the engagement that the contractors are doing. There's not much noise at all, which is great to see. And similarly up in Grasmere Street, usually getting multiple residents contacting me, not hearing anything. Most happy for the remedial works that are going on up there. All bar one resident really who's had some issues with the timing. They started really early, but they sort of got onto that. The key thing is today there actually has been an accident on the cycleway. I'm just looking at the email that's just come in. It was a cyclist on an e-bike going quite fast, hitting a barrier arm that was down when a truck was crossing. It's caught on camera. Though an ambulance was called, I understand that it was a minor cut to a hand and a head, but I think it's just good to know that, we're all over that. And I'm unsure whether it's a driver error or what, but they're looking at it now and it'll be on camera so they can make a better assessment of it. That's all I've got really.
Cool. Thanks, Victoria.
What's happening in Courtney Street?
More development.
Oh, this is part of the building.
Another four apartments going up.
And I think they've started the work in Edgeware Road by the pool.
And the work on
And the
Springfield's done.
Yes, done.
Yeah.
It's quick.
Yeah.
It was quick.
Thank you. I just thought I'd mention something that was discussed at the board chairs and staff forum last week, and you might want to somebody to speak to the head start and the what else was there? LTP.
Consultation.
But I did just want to mention the governance partnership agreement, which came up at our information session the other week. And board members might know what I've been on about the governance partnership agreement and the importance of it. And in my opinion, my view that this, it could be improved. It's a better agreement than many community boards have for their councils around the country. So we've got a lot to be grateful for that we have something. It was discussed at the board chairs forum last week, and I raised the question there around the fact that it hasn't been reviewed since it was introduced in 2019. The original promise was to review it within 6 months of the 2019 election. And there's always been things getting in the way of that. What's getting in the way of it now essentially is that staff are flat out dealing with Head Start pathway, various local government reforms, and the fact that our representation arrangements could look entirely different in the future, which might mean we need some different kind of agreement between different expressions of local government. So there's not a lot of will or capacity on the staff side at the moment. Capacity is probably the right word. Not a lot of capacity to review it at the moment. But what came out of that and in discussion with the other board chairs was where board members do have concerns or see that things could be done better, the general view of staff and board chairs was it should be able to be addressed operationally within the parameters of the existing partnership agreement. So one, just as an example off the top of my head, something that I think could use a little bit of attention is where there are civic events happening within our community board area, ensuring that community board members as well as councillors are aware of those and invited to those kind of things. There's a few other things on my list as well, but just feeding that back so that if board members do see opportunities to improve our relationship with council or sort of how our level of democracy fits in, the door's open to that, but not through a formal review.
Cool. Excellent.
Can I just say thank you for that feedback, and particularly from feeding back from the Chairs Forum, because we don't get a lot of insight to what happens at those forums. Was there any indication of acting on that request? Did you raise that at the time, and is there any support from staff to pick that up? It's a simple thing, isn't it?
I haven't taken it further. It was more a more general discussion on the day around the sort of next steps with the agreement. So I haven't pursued that specific issue since then, but I can do.
I think it's a really valid one. Would it be worth a little letter through to the governance team in Civic and requesting that any significant civic event
Yeah, and then the advice at the time was, raise them through your governance team. So I'll do that.
Yeah.
And we'll take it from there.
Yeah.
Right.
So consider it raised, you mean now? Yeah.
I'll come back with a few more words around it.
Yeah, good on you. That's great. Yeah.
Thank you. And yeah, that was good point. You remembered, Simon. Yeah. No, anyone else?
That also feeds into if anyone's speaking, like say the mayor or the acting mayor or the deputy mayor, they're more likely to acknowledge a community board member who's also present at that function, and they should be. Yeah. And I think often that's overlooked. Yeah.
Noted. Thank you, Pauline.
You're welcome.
Is anyone going to be at the ones that I'm at tomorrow, just so I can add it to my speech now?
And specifically certain events, like I would have no clue that event exists. And like Victoria, you were there in one event, that NZBC one. I didn't even know that event was on. So I'm not saying it's you were there. I just saw pictures. So any such event, if it's can filter down from Civic, if it can filter down to community board.
So I think the appropriate route is, as Simon suggested, to take it up through the governance team. But since we're finishing before 5 o'clock, I'm just going to wander straight down the hallway to the CIR team and say to them and give them a wee nudge and ask them to be mindful and aware, and just ask what processes are in place. So we'll come at it from both angles. I'm happy to pick up that loose end.
So thanks, Victoria.
Straight to the top.
You think we know people in high places.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you, everybody. Nothing else? Okay. Yeah, please.
The village just off Papanui Road. So once a month they're asking for people, guests, could be your grandparents, could be selves, anyone. If you have a moment, just go in and read to the children and the families, just bring a book and just to kind of create more of a community vibe and feel, and just share something that you're interested in, just to share with the younger generation, really.
Is it in front of Aratipu School? Is it that one?
No, Aratipu's on Harewood Road. This is the preschool attached to the village.
Yeah, it's for elderly. It's got an elderly section, and then children play, get together section opposite KFC.
Okay, now I know where it is.
Oh, way down there.
But it's just on the corner.
Yeah, thanks, actually. Thank you, everyone. Let's wind up and then we talk about. Yeah. Okay.